you want to sit here and tell me to my face that it was all the play calling, then we have to accept a few other facts as well. You want to tell me that it's just Canales, he's soft. He needs to, strike hold of this team. That's a completely separate argument. Because all of those things tell me a lot of other things about this team. First one that I have to go in on is Ikem. Whatever you want to say, to come out and then say that you guys were unprepared in the same week where you were on Instagram shit-talking Meow Mix for wanting to come back. You thought it was cool to go after fans, but now you want everyone to feel bad for you because you want to blame the coach? That's not how this works. Sorry. You were accountable for that game. You didn't show up prepared, just like a bunch of other people. But don't try and blame it on everybody else. In fact, I'm going to go back to this Derek Brown quote. After the Patriots loss, Coach takes the blame for us all the time, and we've got to step up. We've got to have his back. You know what I'm saying? That feeling of last week is one that we need to keep having. It's one that we've got to keep working on if we want to achieve every week, right? We appreciate him, but this team knows that we want to be a player-run team. We want to be a player-led team to where it doesn't matter what he calls. We want to go out there and be able to have execution at the highest level so we can enjoy the fruits of our labor. That's what a leader says. A leader doesn't go out there and blame not being prepared. A leader goes out there and does what Derek Brown did again after this game. Again, taking accountability and being like, you know what? I need you to just do better. Not, oh, we weren't set up for success. You're an NFL tackle, Ikem. Grow the fuck up. Moving past that, though, the offense was just abysmal. If you want to give it to Canales and give him some of the blame, sure, 10%. But at the end of the day, there's only one person that goes out there and touches the ball every single snap. There's only one person that goes out there and makes the reads and puts the ball where it's supposed to go. There's only one person out there doing that. And if you want to get mad at the guy calling the plays, then you don't know how the NFL works, clearly. Sure, there are bad plays at times and everything like that, but Bryce Young was sold as this savant. He knows everything. This S2 score, oh my God, he could just process so much better than everybody else. And what are we seeing? Him not able to do that. Him on his tippy toes in the pocket, trying to be able to see over guys that are 6-7 inches taller than him. This offense was built for a good quarterback that can actually see over the offensive line or actually deliver balls on a consistent basis. The criticism that I have of this team isn't really on this team because I understand why the team is in this situation. It's because of the invested draft capital. But as we have in the fan base kind of agreed, shout out to Slick in the spaces, we have to just move past the trade. I can't just keep saying Bryce is not living up to 2 first-round picks in DJ Moore, even though he's not. He's not even living up to a first-round grade, in my opinion. Career 61% completion percentage is worse than Bo Nix this year, and the Broncos want to bench Bo Nix. But yet we are talking about defending Bryce Young over Dave Canales. I'm sorry, Dave Canales was apparently able to do it with all these other guys, Geno, Baker, and all that other stuff. That's why he was hired. The offensive savant, the new offense, saw what he did with the Bucs, with Bucky Irving and all that, and he was able to replicate that with Chuba and Rico. What he doesn't have is a quarterback that can actually get over that 62% completion hump or whatever it is career. He can't push himself past that. He can't be consistent enough to go out there and win us games. And if you want to have a conversation about last year, we got into a big thing about the last 10 games of last year. I don't see it. You want to talk about the Eagles game? You want to talk about the Kansas City game? Go look at them. Go look at the drives that actually set up touchdowns. Go look up how he got points in those games. Pretty sure Kansas City is the game where he had no passing touchdowns. And I think in both of them he had fumbles. So I just don't know what you guys are seeing in it. Now, obviously, if you made it this far, which very few people will, you're going to be like, how are you now going to try and advocate to keep Bryce Young? And I mentioned it in my last video. I think it's easy to just say, just get rid of him. Just move on. Just be done with this. Just, go get Lenore Sellers or Garrett Nussmeier, or Drew Aller was hurt, so he's probably going to end up being a 2nd or a 3rd round pick. That could be a good option for us, right? I just don't think so. I don't think dropping a quarterback like what we did to Bryce solves this. The reason why I don't think that solves this is because we're still missing a lot of pieces. Robert Hunt was obviously out. That's a big problem for us, especially cap-wise next year, being at almost $30 million. Guys are starting to get older. Damian Lewis, Moton's getting up there. Ikem. Before this year, people were kind of on the fence about Ikem anyways. And now his run block grading is absolutely helping him look like a more sustainable tackle. But I don't want people to forget that before this year, Ikem was very much on the hot seat. And we were absolutely, as a fan base, thinking about other tackles. I'm sorry. So the idea that a dude can come back in here and run his mouth is insane. But I just feel like get through this season, regardless of how bad Bryce plays. I understand how terrible that is. Oh, you're a Panthers fan. You don't want to wins. I want wins more than anything. That's why I don't care about his personal stats. I want to just keep trying to commit to run the ball, and I want eventually him to figure it out and be able to just run a competent offense. I don't think that's a high bar to ask. But now we get to the offseason. We won 7 games, 8 games, missed the playoffs. We have the 15th pick. Obviously, we could have been in a much better situation if we had lost more games, but hey, 15 is not bad. We could really get some solid players. And I think that at that point, we could then trade up to 22 or something like that by trading our second round pick plus to get 2 first round picks. I would love to come out of this draft with preferably 2 linebackers. I would love to come out of this draft with a safety. I would love to come out of this draft with multiple offensive linemen, because I don't know about you guys. I called it really early. I said the offensive line was going to have issues. I kept getting pushback from everybody, but yet I am sitting here proven right again. The offensive line is going to continue to age and continue to deal with these nagging injuries. That's why Robert Hunt and Damian Lewis were available anyways. There's no team out there making calls on Tristan Wirfs because they're not available. These guys were available because they had other issues or they got replaced by somebody younger than them. And if they're getting replaced by a rookie or a second-year player, we have other discussions to have. So I just don't love the longevity long-term, so I need to add more players in the draft to that. So now you come into the 2026 season. You still got Bryce Young at the helm. In free agency, I'd like to add an actual veteran that is really going to compete. Really. I don't mean adding a Gardner Minshew or an Aiden O'Connell or a Desmond Ridder or a Mike White or an Andy Dalton. Get him the fuck off my team. I don't want to add, I'm trying to think about Tyler Huntley's, any of those. I don't want guys that were really bad retreads. If you're going to go out there and get a veteran to compete with him, I want a guy that can actually compete. I'm talking like, Baker level. I'm talking Sam Darnold level. I'm talking somebody that actually I can write home about. Somebody that I can actually realistically see beating him for the job every single week. I don't think that's hard to ask. So then we will roll into the next season. Let's say we can build on a little bit of what we have this year. We still have Dave Canales, still have Ejiro Evero. We still have all these pieces. We're building on what we have finishing out this year, which again, Scorton's getting close to some more sacks. Aside from Princey's little injuries, which hopefully heal up. I like the draft. This draft so far. I'm not big on the previous draft with Dan Morgan. I'm not big on Xavier Legette, Brooks, Sanders, any of those really. Shaw Smith-Wade's basically the only guy. And then outside of that, I just want to continue to build. Let's get through that 2027 season. I don't care. Play Bryce. Play whoever wins the quarterback battle coming out of 2026, okay? Then when you get to the 2027 draft, you figure out what to do. Bryce Young will be at the end of the contract. He's not going to make a Pro Bowl, so you don't have to worry about that. His cap hit's going to most likely be short of $30 million as a 5th year, and we just continue to roll with it. Give Dave Canales that time, but if by the end of this next season, we're still at 6-7 wins, then I'm fine with firing Canales. Then I'm fine with firing Dan Morgan. Then I'm fine with jettisoning Bryce Young and all that other stuff, because then in 2027, I still have T-Mac under contract, Lathan Ransom, Princely, Scorton, all the guys I add in 2026, and I'd be getting the 2027 class coming in, which means before that draft class came in, I'd be hiring a new GM. That probably means that 2026 one, you start, 4 or 5 games, you're probably down, you probably mid-season fire Canales for not improving the team, you fire Dan Morgan, you bring in a new GM, he picks a head coach in the offseason, so this way they could draft together in 27. And while that sounds like a crappy, idea, and again, I don't love it either. I wish we could just, turn the switch and just have it happen. I think that's the most realistic one. I think it's realistic because there's a lot of other issues that could arise, and I don't want to end up on the situation where Bryce was just in. I don't want to give Dave Canales a draft pick. He drafts a quarterback in the first round. That doesn't work immediately, meaning the first 8 games. We fire Canales. and then we're back on this treadmill again, having a another coach come into a retread quarterback for them, meaning taken by the other organization. And then they're like, hey, you need to fix this quarterback. That's what Dave was given, and I don't want to do that to somebody else. I want a full reboot if we're doing the reboot. And the only way to do that is to get to 2027. So I know that I'm asking you as Panthers fans to make it through with me, not only the rest of this season, but the rest of next season with Bryce. I think that in the long term, the sacrifice of not only the fan base, but the sacrifice of Bryce, of either him improving or him just giving us a high round pick, either way, it's a win-win for Panthers fans. So make sure you put your thoughts in the comments. Deuces.